word becomes the are in articles, are. The next one is the use of an. The an as a determiner. When and where do we use the determiner? An is used before a word that begins with a vowel sound. An is used before a word that begins with a vowel sound. So any word that begins with a vowel sound, and I believe all of us knows the vowel sounds, how we articulate them, how we pronounce them, we are all conversant with that. Same to same to consonant sounds. We are all conversant with the consonant sounds, how we articulate them, how we pronounce them. So any word that begins with a vowel sound, then we pick on an as the most suitable determiner to use. The third and the last determiner in that category is the, or the. Now, we use the when it is clear. We use the when it is clear from the situation which person or thing we mean. That is when we use the. When it is clear from the situation which person or thing we mean. If you have the textbook with you, when you have the textbook with you, can we look at page 67? If you don't have the textbook, then it is a very short, it's a paragraph. Actually, it is written in continuous prose. It is just a paragraph. I will read it for you. Then you are expected to fill those spaces with either a, an, and the as a determiner. And before we look at filling the spaces, we should be able to know once more when and where do we use a as a determiner, do we use an as a determiner, and lastly, do we use the as a determiner. I've just said, for friends who are there, I've just said a is used before a word that begins with a consonant sound. So in any space that we will see a word that follows the dash beginning with a consonant sound, then we will not hesitate to pick a as our most suitable determiner to fill the blank space. Any space that we shall find the word that follows beginning with a vowel sound, then we will not also hesitate and waste time before we pick on an as our most suitable determiner. Lastly, when it is clear from the situation which person or thing we mean, then we will not hesitate to pick on what? The as our determiner. Aya. Exercise 2, page 67. Can we look at the first two questions, the first two dashes? And I will read the first line. I will only read the first line. If you don't have the textbook, then it is advisable that you listen carefully to whatever I shall read. Then we pick on the most suitable determiner on the articles. Now, Ratemo is a name. Hit dash boy with dash hockey stick by mistake. By mistake. Dash boy fell down in pain. Ratemo quickly called dash teacher on duty, who called for dash ambulance. Now, I've just said I'm going to provide the notes after this so that you have them. I will share the notes with you after this, so don't be worried. Now, Ratemo hit. Ratemo hit. The word that follows is boy. Can we look at the determiners that the determiner are, an, and the? Boy begins with a consonant sound. Therefore, we will not hesitate to go for a as our most suitable determiner. We will say Ratemo hit a boy with. Then you look at the next sound in that particular word. A, we have picked on A because the word begins with a consonant sound. And the sound is not B, but the sound is B. B is a letter, B is the sound. In consonants, the sound therefore becomes B. Therefore, we will not hesitate and waste time before picking A as our most suitable determiner. I believe we are together and that area is well understood. We will have time for questions. Without wasting time, allow me also move to this particular area on determiners still. On determiners still. And we will review an area before I connect it to our today's lesson on the use of a, an, and the as determiners. Allow me also remind you on something that you had looked at previously on the use of determiners on singular nouns, so that we don't forget. Here, I will only measure on the, each, and every. That is on page 26. It is very much advisable that we have that previous knowledge, then we will now connect it to our today's lesson so that we don't forget or we don't get confused or mixed up in all that we'll be doing today. Now, on page 26, if you have the textbook, if you don't have, just do the listening, page 26. We are told that there are some determiners that are used with singular nouns. That one I had said, and I remember giving examples. There is a, an, the, each, and every. Now, there is that paragraph as well. There is a very short paragraph on page 26 that we should take time and have a look at on page 26. I want us to bring it right from that part so that we connect it to our lesson and everything shall end well. Allow me take time and read that paragraph. It is a short one. One day, dash small boy went to listen to a dash talk. My good learners, pay attention to the sound that comes immediately after the dash. For example, one day there is a dash, small. Which sound comes after the dash? Is it a consonant sound? If it is a consonant sound, which determiner should we go for? If it is a vowel sound, if the sound that I've just made after the dash is a vowel sound, then which determiner should we go for? Then if it is clear on a particular thing or people that I mean, then which determiner do we go for? Do we go for an? Do we go for the? Do we go for a? Let us be careful and very much attentive to the sound that comes after the dashes. One day, there is a dash, small boy went to listen to dash talk. As he walked to the hall, dash idea came to him. He would try to answer dash question he was asked. One of dash speakers saw dash boy and asked him to introduce himself. There is a full stop. Dash person in dash hall clapped when dash boy spoke confidently. Dash speaker then showed him where to sit. That is the end of that particular paragraph. It was a short one. Now, I will start from the first question, from the first one. Let us take note of the use of the determiners that I said and the sounds. After the dash, we have the word small. I believe you are able to identify the sound that comes before, or sorry, that comes after the word. After the dash, small. One day dash, small. The sound is S. And we all know that the sound S is a consonant. Therefore, we pick on A as our most suitable determiner. A. The next one day, a small boy went to listen to dash talk. Dash talk. The sound T that is made by the letter T, get the difference? The sound T that is made by the letter T, or that is made while pronouncing letter T, becomes a consonant sound. And I said there is a difference between consonant, consonant and vowel sounds. And I also said there is a difference between letters and sounds. T is a letter in talk, just like any other letter in the same word, T, A, L, K. We also have the sound P that comes at the beginning of that word. Therefore, we have all identified that it is a consonant sound. We will not hesitate, my good learners, to pick on A as our most suitable determiner. Then, as we proceed, we will proceed a little bit up to the end of that particular line, that is up to the word asked. As he walked to the hall, I believe you are all there. There is a comma and then there is a dash. The word that follows is idea, idea, idea. Can we look at the sound? The word that follows is idea. And can we look at the sound made? Is it a consonant sound? Is it a vowel sound? Idea, is it clear from the situation which person or thing we mean? Is it clear? It is not clear. Therefore, we cannot go for the as a determiner. We cannot go for a as a determiner, because a is only used with words that begins with the consonant sound. Can we also go for an? Let us see if an will switch the space. A, I said, is used before, a is used before a word that begins with a vowel sound. An is used before a word that begins with a vowel sound. And it is true the word idea begins with a vowel sound. Therefore, we will not hesitate to pick an as our most suitable determiner. Therefore, we will say as he walked to the hall, an idea came to him. He would try to answer, then the word that follows the space is question. He would try to answer, then the word that follows is question. He was asked. Question. I think this particular person here is very much clear from the situation which person or thing we mean. The person is very much clear. Therefore, we will ignore a, we will as well ignore an, and then we pick the as our suitable determiner because it is used when it is clear from the situation which person or thing we mean. Therefore, we will go for the question he was asked. I will stop at that in identifying or in looking at the use of determiners with singular nouns. With singular nouns. Now, can we move to the next part? And I think this is the last bit of it that we need to remind ourselves on, after which, after tackling the last part of it, we will all move to page 67. There is an exercise on page 67, that is exercise 1. We will take our time and go through that exercise. But before that, can we look at the last part of determiner on page 27? That is the use of determiners with plural nouns. That is the last part of determiners that I want us to look at very, very fast. Some determiners are used with plural nouns, just as I said previously. Some determiners are used with plural nouns. Examples of these determiners I gave, that is many, more, all, some, and few. I'm on page 27, that is exercise 2. Some determiners, I've said, are used with plural nouns. We have a determiner like many, more, all, we have some, and we also have few. I will only take time and go through that short paragraph. It is also written in a continuous prose. We will take time and I will read it very fast. If you don't have the textbook, fine, you'll have to listen. If you have the textbook, then you can read with me. As I read, you also follow whatever I'm doing there. Pupils in Mzuri Primary School love debating. Dash of them are members of the debating club. Yesterday, dash of them contributed to the debate about life skills. Sadly, dash did not contribute. Dash agreed with the motion that life skills are important. Though dash thought differently, they were not dash. So the motion carried the day as dash pupils supported it than the ones who did not support it. This made dash supporters pleased. At the end of the debate, dash pupils in class 8 agreed to use life skills in dash their daily activities. So, and that is the end of that particular paragraph. I will pick the first question and see which determiner can we use in plural, can we use with plural nouns to make that particular sentence remain grammatically correct. And I will read that first line. Then from the determinants that have been given in the box, we will choose on the most accurate to fill in the blank. Pupils in Mzuri Primary School love debating. I can pick many as well. Many of them are members of the debating club. Somebody can pick many. Somebody can pick many. Many of them are members of the debating club. Many as a determiner that can be used with plural nouns. You can also use more, all, some, few on the rest of the questions. You can use more, all, some, few in the rest of the questions, so long as you check and see whether the sentence remains as grammatical as possible. Now, can we all move? That is the last bit of it that I wanted us to look at. Then we can move to page 67, exercise 1. Having reminded ourselves on what we looked at determiners, and I've also introduced our lesson for today, I will only summarize with the last part. That is exercise 1. You will use a lot and much to fill in the correct, to fill in the sentences correctly. At your own free time, okay. At your own free time, you will answer or try question 1 to question 4. Number 1 to number 4. Any question? Any question? Any question? Anybody with a question? Anybody with a question? If at all you don't have a question, then any question, if you have any question. Kuna wenye wamebeba mkono.
Hey, teacher, are we writing?
Okay, you will write question 1 to question 4. Question 1 to question 4. You will answer question 1 to question 4.
Okay.
Yes.
Teacher,
Sorry, yes?
question 4.
Question 4. Question 4. What is wrong with question 4? Can you make it clear? Yes, question 4.
Teacher, read and I
You?
didn't understand it even.
Question? Question? Question
Teacher,
4.
question 4.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't understand question 4?
Yes.
Okay. Question 4, Atieno puts only, then we have a word like little and much.
Yes.
Much is used with plural nouns. And then you'll also check the use of little and a little. Then you look at the word, the noun that follows, that is sugar. Then look at the structure of the sentence. Then we will also look at the determiner that before the dash. Which determiner has been used before the dash? Look at the determiner. Then the determiner will help you to identify either to pick little or much in that particular sentence. Next question.
Teacher,
Yes.
Olympic is a comprehension.
Yes, comprehension question. I said
Yes.
you will answer question 2 to question 5.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, welcome.